Good afternoon, everyone. I, Dr. Kehkasha Sapir, Assistant Professor of BVD University, Faizabad, Lucknow. I'm going to tell you about the subject that is the essentials of IT. As you can see, the first slide of this, the topics or the contents of the slides, the topics are the first slides and the contents. The topics are what is computer, then generations of computer, operations of computer, advantages of computer, classifications of computer, hardware and software devices, difference between the hardware and software devices and applications of computer, input and output devices, magnetic tape, difference between the flash memory and sachet memory. So guys, we are moving toward these topics and we are going to cover all these topics in front of you through this slide, right? Now we are moving towards the our first slide, that is what is a computer. So this is a basic thing when we talk about a computer, as we are all aware up to the upcurrent that is the new generations are already aware of what is computer. Earlier hardly people were known about what is computer is actually, and how the computer does the functioning, and what is the actually the function or the purpose or the use of the computer, right? So now in this subject we are discuss all the topics related to the essentials of IT, which is important to know ki what does a computer mean. A computer is an electronic device which stores the data and information based upon the instructions provided by the user and generates the desired outlook. So the basic concept we are coming with a computer, it is an electronic machine and which stores lots of information or the instructions given by the user, those who are using the computers, and it generates the outcome or the outlook. Now we are coming to the second slide. Second slide, guys, as we you see all uh, basically the generations of computer, right? So generations of computer, you can see the first generation of computer, you can see that is from 1949 to 59, and the pictures you are seeing on the right hand side of this slide, you can see the first generations of the computer. From 1949, these computers used valves and the vacuums. They were the fast and used for the idea stores program, right? The first generation computer was, we can see that the vacuum tubes were the build for the first generation of computer. And we can see these computers were very large as compared to the other generations of computer. Second generations of computer from 1959 to 65, these computers use transistors and magnetic cores as the main memory, right? Again, you can see the picture of the second generation, which is to be seen on again on my right hand side. That is the transistors for the second generation computers. Now we come to the third generations of computer, that is the 1965 to 70. These computers used ICs or the integrated circuits. They had a better storage device, improved input like visual display unit. As we all know, we are aware, we are using the word that is the VDU. Fourth generation of computer from 1970 to 85, these computers use microprocessor chips which contain an entire central processing unit in the computer, which is used by the very large computer integrated circuits, that is the VLSI. That is again the fourth generation of computer, and it has been picturized by this figure. As you can see, these are the very large scale integration. Again, this is the fourth generation of computer. Now, the fifth generation of computers is 1985. These computers use the artificial intelligence, which allows the computer to behave like a human. Now you can see here the ultra large scale integration which is being introduced in the fifth generation and computer, and still it has been used for the present or the current present scenario. We are moving to the another slide, that is the operations of computer. Right. Operations of computer, you can see here that there are the five basic types of the computer operations. That is the inputting, processing, outputting, storing, and controlling. The basic operation function is basically how does a computer works actually. What is the use of the inputting, how the processing is to be done, how the outputting is to be created, and how the storing and controlling is to be held it out, right? So there are the five points in front of you all. Will discuss each and every point in front in this class. That is first input operation. Input operation, guys, it is very similar to the input devices, right? Whatever you try to touch the input devices, you can feel it out, you can touch it. That is the part of the input operation, and this includes the input devices, which is again the scanner, microprocessor, keyboard, mouse, etc. Second is the processing operations. The data is manipulated to process or transform the data or information. Again, the data is to be manipulated or the data is to be converted or the transformed as per the computers wants to say, or we want to try to convey our message to the computer. Second is the output generations. When the CPU has finished the processing the inputted data, the computer system carries out a series of output operations that directs the processing results to the output until the monitor, speaker, or the printers, etc. Though basically we can see that these monitors, speakers, and the printers, whatever we are trying to input in that a computer, all we get in as a result through the output operations. That is through the computer parts. That is the monitor, speaker, or in printer. Fourth, that is the storage operations. Now the storage operation nowadays, guys, we are try to storage our data in our Google drives, in our pen drives, right? So but for the basic knowledge we are coming to the point ki how the computer try to store the things. So the storage operations unit contain the primary and the secondary data storage devices. The primary storage includes the RAM and ROM. Secondary storage can include the solid state devices, that is the SSDs, hard disk drives, that is the HDDs, USB flash drives, and the other non-volatile storage devices. Again, the last controlling operations, that how the computer is to be controlled. We all know about ki when we purchase a computer, they are given they give us the CPU, right? So CPU, on the basis of the CPU, the CPU only is try to control all the computer processing, inputting, whatever we try to do it in a computer. This has to be controlled this is to be controlled by the CPU only. Right. So again, we are seeing that control operations are responsible for coordinating all the other operations on the computer systems. The CU carries out the control operation, ensuring that data is properly transferred, processed, and stored. Now we are coming to the next slide. What is the advantages of the computer, or why we are using the computer? What is the main purpose or the basic points why to use computers, right? So basically they are being categorized into these points. That is, first, you can use a computer for the writing purpose, for any organization purpose, for the storage purpose, for the research purpose, or can be used for the home or the personal purpose. So we just look it into the points of the writing purpose. That is, whatever you want to write a guy, you can, it can be a very quick and very speedily work, right? Second, it is easy to edit and restructure. Earlier, what was that? If the computer was not there, we were using the typewriters, and it was very difficult for the people to edit it out, to delete something, or to create or recreate it, right? So computer is replacing the typewriters now, and it is making a useful for a writing purpose where you can edit it, or you can delete it, or you can restructure the things. Third, storage is inexpensive and do not take any much space. They are very less space occupies. Fourth, for the organizations, a document file in control or the electronic form is easy to store, and many files can be stored in a one computer. Guys, the maximum storage space you can see in a single computer also, where you can store a very large types of the data on a single file, or you can create a different or many kinds of the file in a single computer, whereas you can easily search any kind of the file from your computer where you have stored it out, right? Again, the second advantage, third advantage, that is the storage. The computer has a storage capacity based on the random access memory, that is the volatile, and read only memory, that is the non volatile. For research, you can easily assess the act as a research tool, easy to gather the information on a huge basis based on the storage or a catalog. Easy to gather the information on a huge basis based on the storage or a catalog, used for the home purpose, as we are now in a daily life. We are using in the personal laptops, PCs, we are having a tablets, different forms of the computers, right? So these are the advantage of the computer. Now we are coming to the another slide, that is the computers or the classifications of the computers, right? The current slide is in front of you, and it is being characterized by the different parameters. The first classification is done on the basis of the size. Second is to be done on the functionality. Third is done on the basis of the data handling. Right now, we are come to know, we will see on what basis the computer has been classified. The first is the supercomputers, mainframe computers, and the microcomputers. So on these three bases, the computer size has been described. Supercomputers is a computer with a high level of performance compared to a general purpose computer. Mainframe computers is a large computer capable of rapidly processing massive amount of data at a high speeds. Microcomputers, a microcomputer is a small, relatively inexpensive computers with a microprocessor, its CPU. Now, another classification on the basis of the function, how actually the computers work on the basis of the servers and on the basis of the workstations. So these are the two factors to cover up the functions of the computers. Servers, but they are nothing but dedicated computers which are set up to offer some services to the clients. Whereas the workstations, those are the computers designed to primarily to be used by the single user at a time. They run multi-user operating systems. Classification on the basis of the data handling. These are two of three categorized. They are the analog, digital, and hybrid. Now, what is the analog computer? Analog is a form of a computer that uses the continuously changeable aspects of the physical facts, such as electrical, mechanical, or the hydraulic quantities to model the problem being solved. Second is the digital, a computer that performs calculation and logical operations with the quantities represented as digits, usually in the binary number of 0 and 1. Now, digital on the base, we all know that the computer follows its own machine languages, and which is also converted the characters, alphanumeric converter converts into the numeric sign, that is the binary systems, that is the 0 and 1. Hybrid, the process with a both analog and digital. We come to the next slide, that is the difference between the hardware and software is. Now we can see the hardware and software. The hardware, which represents the physical and tangible components of a computer, either the components that can be seen and touched. Examples of the hardware are the input devices, output devices, secondary storage devices, and the internal components, guys. In a simple language, I can explain you that a hardware where you can touch it, where it can you can feel it, and where can you can do a movable part also somewhere, right? So input devices, you can be input anything in a computer, you can touch it, you can input whatever you want to do with that. Your devices of input like your keyboard, your mouse, output like your printer, monitor, whatever you are inputting in your computer, you can see from your monitor basis on your screen. And if you want any in a hard point of view, you can again had a use of the printer. Secondary storage device, that is the hard disk, CDs, DVDs, etc. Internal components, that is the CPU, motherboard, RAM, etc. Now the another hand, you can see the software. Software is a collection of the instructions, data or computer programs that are used to run machines and carry out the particular activities. A device running program scripts and applications are collectively referred to as a software. For example, MS Word, MS Excel, PowerPoint, etc. Now, basically, these are the activities. They are in a program basis, and you cannot touch it, but you can still do the work on that particular programs. And software is somewhat like a programs is actually, or the application we are using, right? If we can say, I can give you a small example regarding the software. If you are using a mobile phone, in a sense, if you're using the mobile phone, the features like your WhatsApp, like your Facebook, like your Instagram, all these again the parts of the software, guys. And these are on the basis of the types of the software, that is a system software, operating system, language processor, device divider. Second is the application, general purpose software, customized software, and utility software. Now we come to the another slide. Basic the difference between the hardware and software. Hardware is the physical part of the computer, whereas the software is the program which is executed by the CPU. Hardware is tangible, whereas a software is intangible. Hardware can perform any task without software. Software cannot execute without any hardware. Hardware is repaired in the case of the problem, whereas software is debugged in the case of the problem. Now, what are the devices to be seen on this computer? Devices like your personal computers for their operations or the applications. Now, personal computers used for the general tasks both at home and office. Laptops, which is again a portable device. Tablet, which are compact touch screen devices ideal for web browsing, e-books, and the apps. Your smartphones, your servers, your applications, again your word processing, internet browsing, again the online via webs, graphic designs, tools like Adobe Photoshops, enable graphic creations and editing. Your gaming, wide range of gaming for the casuals to the high-end gaming PCs. Now, here are some devices of the input and output devices. You can see the input devices, your keyboard, mouse, joystick, and microprocessor. All these things are being picturized here. You can see this is the keyboard, mouse, light pen, scanner, joystick, microphone, etc. Right now, here it is the output devices. Again, the monitor, printer, headphone, projector, speaker. These are both the input and output device of the computers which is to be used, that is the USB driver, CD and DVD drivers. Now I'm going to explain what is the magnetic tape. A magnetic tape is sequence SS device about the half and 1/4 inch in the size, and it is made up of the layer, that is the plastic material coated with a thin layer of the iron oxide. Data can be stored and write through a device which is called a tape drive. Magnetic tape is divided into 9 separate strips or the tracks, in which 8 tracks are used to store data and 9 track is used for the error checking bit as shown in the diagram. Now here you can see the two diagrams has been seen. Here you can see a blue one which is again the 1 bit and which is not been used, again the 0 bits. In the sense, the zero color of these bits to be considered as the recording, or the things has been already recorded, and these numbers are to be considered as the channels recording tracks. Now here you can see a description of the track movement. Here the tape has been moved from year to year, and you can erase the heading, record the head and replay the head. Right now you can see the advantages of the magnetic tape. These are inexpensive, very low cost memory. It is reusable memory. It is a compact and easy to store on tracks. Whereas we discuss the disadvantages, sequential access is the advantage, means it does not allow access random or directly. It requires caring to store either vulnerable, humidity, dust free and suitable environment. So this was the basically magnetic tape, and you can see the last slide of this subject, flash memory and session memory. Now guys, what is the flash memory and session memory? Memory has been you can see ki here we are having a very two types of the memory, that is the flash memory and session memory. Flash memory is a non-volatile memory chip used for the storage and for transferring the data between the personal computers and digital devices. It has the ability to be used electronically, reprogrammed and erased, whereas on the session memory system, that is temporarily stored. In a sense, if we see that is a flash memory is a permanent kind of the memory, whereas the session memory is a temporary stored frequently and data for the quicker processing by the central processing, that is the CPU of your computer. Now, the frequency of writing the speed so less than the RAM, and to write the data by using an electrical pulse every time may take more time than RAM. Session memory is an extremely fast memory type that act as a buffer between the RAM and CPU. RAM is again the random access memory and ROM is the read-only memory, guys. Flash memory can store large amount of data from the GB, that is the gigabytes, to the several TB, that is the terabytes. And here the capacity of very limited in session memory. In the sense, if we compare, flash memory is a permanent and it is a non-volatile, whereas a session memory is the volatile memory. So these were the topics we all have covered in the essentials of IT. Thank you, class, for your wonderful support. Thank you.